This episode of Film Riot is brought to you by FreshBooks. They fresh to death. Welcome to Film Riot Mondays. Today we're answering your questions as always, and I'm gonna jump right into it because I got shit to do. You got shit to do, and I respect both of our time. First question, why did you decide to change the look of Film Riot? This will be the third look that we've had for the show, but it's not a total rebrand like the last one was. The last one was just a total makeover of our look. This one is just a freshening up of that brand that we already had, which is what we'll probably do going forward. And every show, every brand does this every so often. You update it so it's a modern look, not this old, outdated style. And we'll keep doing this over time. Probably between every 2 to 4 years, we'll update the look of the show to make sure everything's staying current and looking nice and purty. What is the best way to transition from a scene that is in one location to a scene that's in a different location? There's a few ways that you can do this, but regardless of which one you pick, you really want to know what you're going to do before you shoot the film or while you're shooting the film. That way you're not trying to figure out ways to make transitions work in post. It's all baked in and organic to your piece. A good example of some things that you could do would be sound, which is one of my favorite ways to do it. Intel, the scene when he's on the ground after he falls off the ladder, before we cut to the bathroom, you actually hear the sync turn on and then we cut to the bathroom. So we have that sound of the sync transitioning us into the new scene so it doesn't feel like an abrupt cut. Or in Portal Combat, even though it's not jumping time, it's all this fluid following from point A to point B almost in real time sort of thing. I'm still transitioning from spots in our location, so at some points we use whip pans and things like that, so it's not feeling like this abrupt cut that slows down the pace, pulls the audience out. So I'm always thinking about how to transition. You could do it through camera movement, matching camera movement. Sound is probably the way that I do most with sound effects. Maybe a piece of dialogue comes in, then we cut, or even music. Building and bringing us into different scenes. Thoughts on the Revenant trailer? I thought it looked freaking amazing. The whole filmmaking posse behind that thing is just glorious, and I love them all. Birdman was incredible. Everything that that director does, I'm behind 100%. Look, the cinematography looks amazing. I would say it's probably, as of right now, my most anticipated for this year currently. For most short films you have done for the show, you are a writer, director, DP, editor, etc. Lately, I see you are giving up the role of DP to others. Do you find that giving up the aspect of control is nerve-wracking or comforting? Does having a DP make a smoother shoot? Absolutely. I mean, I love cinematography and I love to do it. I love to do my own cinematography, but that does take away from me just focusing on telling this story and giving the audience an experience and making sure I get everything that I need to be able to cut together the experience I am trying to create. And especially something like Portal Combat, where there was no plan. We talked about that on the other episode. There was no plan going in. I was making up all the shots as we went because it was such a short turnaround to have to think about what the camera is doing, what lens is on the camera. And I mean, as a director, I am involved with what lenses we're choosing, but I have somebody in charge of that, dealing with all that, dealing with the data transfers and everything, so I don't have to. That way I can just fully focus on what we've gotten, what we need to get, so we can tell the story we want. Plus, especially with cinematography on set, it's a collaborator that is really great to have because it's somebody there as a springboard of ideas to come up with different visual ideas of how we could tell this moment, what's most going to punctuate this moment to get the audience to the place we want to be. So it's somebody to back up your thoughts, challenge your thoughts, and to help make the whole thing 10,000 times better. So I absolutely love having a DP on my projects. Why don't you just shoot a low, no budget feature? I don't want to just jump into some feature just because I want to make one. I love making short films, and that's a great thing to do, and it's refining our skills and helping us figure out how to tell stories and how to bring the crew together in creative ways to do bigger things with absolutely no money or very little money compared to what we're trying to do. So it's been a really great film school of sorts for us to gear up to make our feature film. I don't want to go out there and make a feature film and watch it fail miserably because we weren't ready to do it. I think we're really close to doing that, but on top of that, I don't want to just make a feature to make a feature. I'm waiting to figure out that story, which we might have, that is that story that I have to tell, that I know for sure that this is the one that I want to be my feature, my first feature going forward. Because that's not like a short film where you spend some months on it and then you put it out. This is something that'll likely take 1 year to 2 years of very dedicated and stressful work to put out into the world. So we're gearing towards that, and that is the end goal. And hopefully in the next few years, that is exactly what will be happening, and FilmRiot will be following that. But it's not something that we're gonna jump into lightly for sure. Last question, how long is Hitfilm 3 Express gonna be free, or is it always free? It's free for eternity as far as I know. Of course, it's the Express version of the software, so there is some stuff missing. They have a Pro version, and you can actually buy the different things that you need in packs. So that's really helpful. And a few people thought that we were paid to do this whole collaboration. It wasn't that sort of thing where we're paid to be a part of it. It's a full-on collaboration where we partnered with them. They gave us some money to help us with the budget for Portal Combat, but I actually put my own money into Portal Combat too, and we didn't make a dime off of it. We only did it because I believe in what they're doing. People have been asking me for years where they can get good free software, and I haven't really had an answer for that. There's some out there, but none that I really liked. But Hitfilm Express is really great software for people that are just starting out or low-budget filmmakers who don't have the money to do a subscription-based thing or even pay for software up front to get you started, and then after a while you can get the Pro version or move on to whatever. The point is, this is really great software for people to get going with, so it's something that we wanted to be a part of and get out there to you guys so you knew it existed and could jump on board to start making better things. So you can edit on things, you can do your audio, and you can do visual effects. It's pretty amazing. So check that out right here if you haven't. FreshBooks makes things simple, but their specialty is to make your life easier when it comes to invoicing and getting paid and tracking expenses. If you're doing any freelance work or have a business of any kind on the side or full time, you need to know about FreshBooks. It's the online tool and the absolute easiest way to get all your accounting done super fast. Everyone dreads doing stuff like sending invoices and getting your numbers straight, but that's where FreshBooks will make life really simple for you. Your clients pay you online, your expenses are tracked automatically as you spend, and all the little details about cash flow are in one place, so you always know where you stand. You can even see the full history of any invoice, so you'll know if your client has looked at your invoice or not. So head over to freshbooks.com/FilmRiot, and don't forget to enter FilmRiot in the How Did You Hear About Us section. So that's it for today, which means it's time for my suggestion of the week. This one is not a freebie to watch online, but it's something you have to pay for and something that I have no affiliation with whatsoever. It's just amazing. We bought it ourselves and watched it, and I thought it was pretty incredible. It is a masterclass on acting from Dustin Hoffman, but in this masterclass, he's directing actors. So you're seeing some ideas behind directing actors within this whole thing. And even if you just want to be a director, you don't want to act, you really need to understand actors and what they're doing. So overall, from every aspect, this thing is amazing. Dustin Hoffman's a director as well, so you're actually seeing him at work with these actors, helping them shape that performance, and it's pretty amazing how he does it. So definitely check that out right here. But that is it. Again, until next time, don't forget to write, shoot, edit, repeat.